Today, I'm sitting down with a champion and runner-up rookie of the year and most popular driver in the NASCAR Whelen Southern Modified Tour, former champion of Bowman Gray Stadium, as well as a 14-time race winner at Bowman Gray Stadium. Of course, I'm talking to Danny Bohn. How are you doing, Danny?
I'm doing well. How about you?
Doing good. It's usually when I go to someone's website, there'll be like one or two little highlights there. But I was looking on yours and I was like, oh, it's pretty cool. And you got like a bunch of these little things and highlights. So it was pretty cool getting to dive in and learn more about you as a race car driver. So
Yeah, no, I mean, I've been pretty fortunate to do a lot of cool things, and still get the opportunity to try to add on to that list. So
mhm.
that's what the goals are right now.
Yeah, I don't know if it's always been like that or now if it's just NASCAR has a renewed kind of like interest in highlighting it, but it's cool seeing how many if you guys it's not just racing on Saturday or Friday night or Sunday, but it's you might run a truck race on Friday, but then you have a weekend of racing or whatever. So it's pretty cool to see just how much some of you guys race around the country.
Yeah, no, like the truck schedules, it's 21 races, but like this month we just ran Knoxville on last Friday, and we don't
Mhm.
race again until I think it's the second week in August. So we have almost a month off, or about a month off. So, um, I come from the modifieds, and Bowman Gray has been really good to me in my career. So, I try to run over there as much as I can, and I feel like anytime that you're in the seat of a race car, you're learning, you're keeping your name out there, and you're just keeping everything going. So
Mhm.
I typically try to race as much as I can without driving myself crazy. Sometimes it becomes a lot of work and a lot of nights in the shop, but
Mhm.
it's definitely fortunate to be able to do the amount of racing that I do.
Yeah. So, Danny, when did you first decide that you wanted to pursue a career in racing?
Well, I kind of grew up around racing. My grandfather raced when he was younger, and then my dad started racing, and I was pretty much been at racetracks since I was in diapers, watching my dad and some of my grandfather race. So it was something I was born into, and I just come from an average family, and was something that I always wanted to be able to do or hoped I could do. But
Mhm.
financially, obviously, with having two brothers, it's kind of tough for you know parents to support three kids racing. So um, luckily enough, each one of us had the opportunity to race something, and I started in a Bandolero car at Wall Stadium, and graduated up to the modified affordable division, which is a modified with a crate engine in it, and was successful at that. And then about that time, my dad got a job offer from Ray Evernham in North Carolina, and I was 18 years old, or just turned 18, and like I had the racing itch, and wanted to see if there was a possibility to continue my career racing. And I didn't have a job or anything, just an invite from my dad that I was welcome to move down here if I wanted to. And so I packed everything up in 2008 and moved down here, and been slowly chipping away at it. I think you know I guess I could have maybe you know did some things different, and maybe got the opportunity to do what I'm doing now a little bit earlier. But
Mhm.
circumstances are I did as much as I could with what I had and the amount of time I had, and it's slowly paying off.
Yeah. It's to me, it's always interesting to see that kind of stuff because you see some people who get that opportunity later on, and I feel like sometimes those opportunities pass by, but other times it's almost like you can handle it better. Whereas if you're 17 or 18 and now you're thrown into, all right, here's top equipment, you better win a race,
Yeah.
Um, and so, like I touched on earlier, and you've said, you run a lot at Bowman Gray as much as you can. What has it meant to you to have so much success at such a historical and special racetrack?
I mean, it's definitely an honor. I didn't know much about Bowman Gray when I first moved here. We kind of just new to the area, and what tracks were cool to go to. And I was racing East Lincoln in the dirt car in 2009. I ran there, and everybody started talking about Bowman Gray Stadium, and I really didn't know anything about it or much about it. So went up there and sat in the stands, and there's 15 to 17,000 people sitting in the stands, and it's like these people that are in the stands, the drivers out there are their heroes, and crowd's going crazy, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, well, I have one of these cars, it's an hour up the road, let's try to get it together. So 2011 winter time, we got an engine for my car, and figured we go over there and just play around, see kind of how things shaped up. And I was fortunate enough to win my second night there, and I mean, ever since then, it's kind of been a little bit addicted to the place. It's been a really good place to me. And then you learn more about the history of the racetrack, and you look at the names in the record book, and you got Richard Petty's on there, Bobby Allison, it's just the names on there. And then to see your name mixed in with those people, it's really neat, and we won there the second night, and we kind of just picked and choose, races to run there. I ran one other full season, ended up winning the championship in 2014 for putting Swisher in the 53 car. And he's fielded cars there, raced there, pretty much his whole life, and never had a championship. So to be able to get the championship for him and his team, and I mean, that kind of meant more to me than anything, just to see how happy he was, and to finally get him that championship. But honestly, that place is pretty much the place that put me on the map. I ran dirt cars, I ran the Southern Modified Tour. I feel like I was fairly successful at both of those. We had a couple wins on the tour. Heck, I won, I think, 15 or 20 or 30 dirt modified wins down here between Carolina and East Lincoln. And, once I started running at Bowman Gray, it's, everybody keeps an eye on what's going on in Bowman Gray. And I mean, honestly, that's how my truck deal came along. It happened in the pit area there.
Oh, wow.
On Point Motorsports has a modified, and one of the crew guys that worked at the team, my name got brought up to drive the modified, and I happened to know one of the guys that worked on the team, and they gave me a call, and I drove out there to look at the modified, and it was really just to drive the modified. But I'm sitting there looking at trucks and Xfinity cars, and that's basically what I've been trying to do my whole racing career, was to make it to that level. And started talking about maybe trying to put a deal together for Martinsville, and that came through, and we were able to put a deal together for Martinsville, and it was a one race deal. It ended up being, we finished 8th my first truck race. We had Brantley Gilbert and Big Machine Records on the truck, and it, that was going to be my career. Like, that was going to be the biggest thing in my career. And then that turned to 2 more races that year. And then last year I ended up running 10 truck races. And then this year I'm scheduled to run all 19 of the 21 truck races. So it's just been slowly building and building. And, it's a lot later in my career than I thought any of this would happen. But, it's all going in the right direction. And I think it's, just, having a lot of great support. North American Motor Car has been, a huge support in these opportunities that I've had. And, we have a really great relationship, and, we're going to keep trying to build on what we have going on. And my dad's been, he's worked on my car since I started racing, and he stays out in the shop right now working on my car for this weekend. So, he's been a huge support of my racing career. Ray Evernham, he's helped me a lot with, everything, sponsorship wise, the connections, the allowing me time off to go race. So my family and my friends and all the birthday parties, weddings, and everything else that I've missed, it's been a long road, but like I said, it's kind of surreal to see how far I've came. And there's been a lot of times that you just sit there and think, it's just not going to happen, and then you get in one conversation, and then it all changes. So
that's awesome. So for me personally, I first found out about you through the truck series. Without much on track practice, what have you leaned on to help you with your transition into the truck series? A lot of people talk about iRacing or talking to other drivers. What have you kind of personally leaned on to help you?
So On Point has a simulator there that I was using for a while, but they're about an hour from my house.
Mm-hmm.
So I would typically try to go out there as much as I can, but you're wasting 2 hours on the road. So recently I bought a Carolina SimWorks simulator.
Uh-huh.
Have sitting at my house, and lately I've been really relying on that for as much practice as I can. Not everything completely relates from a simulator to the real life, but I think you can, breaking points and just, like the road courses, learning the track and stuff like that. It's definitely a really good tool to have. I've talked to some drivers. I've name a few. I've talked to Bobby Labonte. I've talked to Newman, Brett Moffitt, Brennan Poole.
Mm-hmm.
I've
good guys to talk to.
Yeah, so I've been, fortunate enough to be able to meet a lot of those people and have a decent relationship with them that I could call them. And it's been like I said, a lot of people have helped me, and it's been a really cool opportunity. And I think I definitely, I'm really competitive, and I want to continue to be better, and I work as hard as I can to try to be better. It's a really tough series. It's a really tough division. But I really feel like I can do it. It's just, it's tough timing without practice. I think, if we could have 15, 20 minutes practice, it for a smaller team, it makes a bigger difference. So,
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, always want to try to do better, but in reality, it's, we're doing fairly well. So,
so when you look at your career so far, you've had all these really cool moments. Is there a moment you look at as kind of like your proudest? And is there something like in the near future, do you have like, something on that bucket list, whether it's, getting to win the truck series or making a start in the cup series or whatever?
I have to say, like probably two, if I had to pick out career highlights so far, would be obviously the Bowman Gray championship. That's kind of, in 24 years over there's four of us, Tim Brown, Burt Myers, Junior Miller, and myself. So I'm one of four in the last 24 years. And it's I'd say it's probably one of the most difficult short tracks and most popular short tracks there is in the country. So, to have my name on that list as one of the champions in the last 24 years, that's honestly an honor. And then, like I said, to do it for Puddin' Swisher and his team, and and honestly, it was fun to do it. Like, I really enjoyed driving for those guys. So I'd say that. And then, just the Martinsville start in 2018, I went there that day thinking, I had one shot, and it might be the last one I had. And I was going to go there and do the best I can, and whatever happened. And I don't know if anybody really thought that I'd come out of there with a top 10. We finished 8th, which was good. I mean, it was really good for the momentum and really good for, everything we had going on. But I set the bar kind of high, because then, we went to Homestead and Phoenix and we didn't have the same results. So, to finish in the top 10, my first truck start, that was a really good, really, really big highlight for me. And, future plans and future highlights. I mean, I just want to keep building, keep getting better. I think at some point I'll be able to win in the truck series. And I think, it would be really cool to say that I ran some cup races. So,
yeah,
we're, like I said, we're taking it one step at a time. Racing's, it's kind of like a roller coaster. You have good weekends, bad weekends. And, like 2 weeks ago, I was leading the point series, the points at Bowman Gray. We were going to do the Pocono and Bowman Gray double. And, we had a mechanical issue at Pocono. I jumped in an airplane, flew home, drove straight to Bowman Gray, and had the point lead that night and got in a wreck and flew out of the fence. So probably one of my worst weekends. And then we turned around and finished, top 10 at Knoxville with the truck last weekend. So a little bit of a rebound there. And you just got to just look at the big picture, kind of take it for what it is. It's every weekend's different, and there's new challenges, and just just as easy as you had bad luck last week, you turn around and have good luck the week after. So you just got to keep looking ahead.
Mm. Now, when it comes to you and On Point Motorsports, North American Motor Car has been a huge supporter of yours, which made me wonder, what's your dream car?
I always had a thing for like the '69 Chevelles. Like, I think if I had like an older car, that's probably what I would go for, something like that. And then as far as like, like a street car, I always thought those McLaren F1s were pretty cool, but they're a lot of money, obviously. So I'll probably end up, if I was to end up with either one of them, I'd probably end up with a Chevelle before McLaren. But, I said, I'm not much of a, I keep all my, spend all my money on race cars and stuff like for the racetrack. And, maybe one day we'll be able to come up with a cool street car.
That's awesome. Well, thanks so much for joining us, and good luck the rest of your season.
No, thank you. I appreciate it. Like I said, without North American Motor Car, I don't think any of this would have been possible. So, owe a lot of this to them, and like we'll keep plugging away, and hopefully we'll get some more top tens this year. And we got Talladega coming up, Martinsville, which are two good tracks. So, maybe we can end up in victory lane in one of those.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, and good luck with those.
Thank you. I appreciate it.